Family, relationship, kids, pace of life, balance of schedules, and everything in between. How can we have a healthy home while leading well in the church? In this special two-part episode, our very own Pastor Josh and Kara are going to help us learn how to live a focused family life. Hey, what's up, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Faith Family Leadership Podcast, where we are helping you lead others into a growing relationship with Jesus. And with me today is not just one, but two of my favorite people in all the world. We got Pastor Josh and Kara in the house.
Hello.
How you guys doing?
Good to be here.
Doing good, Brian.
Good. It's good.
Always good to be with the leaders on the podcast.
On the pod, on the cast. We call it everything we want.
Anything.
I'm excited about today's episode. Been excited about it for a little bit because we're going to be talking family. We'll be talking relationships a little bit, pace of life, and how to do that in a healthy way while leading in the local church. I think this is something that I've seen you guys do really well. And not only are you helping our staff grow in this area, but even for Elizabeth and I on a personal note, you've added a lot of value to us in this area. So I'm excited about getting into it. I think it's going to help our listeners for sure. But before we get into it, we always like to start with a little game.
Let's go.
Interactive. Okay, get the juices
So it's not
flowing.
a competitive game.
Not a
bring
competitive
out the bad
game.
side of this lady sitting next to me.
Yeah, I think there's a little.
competitive
She
side,
goes for the
sorry.
win.
It goes for
any
the
cost.
juggler. I saw that on the staff days. Todd, who is
Little
this
something
animal?
people don't know about me. I do like to win.
I think you need to.
Yeah, like dominoes at home with the kids. I mean, it's like,
Violence.
it's just ridiculous. Usually,
That's
I mean,
so
I
not
do.
true.
I like to win too. Maybe I've cheated a couple times in order to win, but she is.
The Lord covers it.
Oh my.
Yeah,
The Lord
He
covers
does.
it.
Yeah, it's in the Bible that dads can cheat on,
right.
on card
Leviticus?
games, and yeah,
I
it's
think
in
it
there.
is. Okay.
Oh
How well do you know each other is what we're calling this. Now, some of these questions you're going to answer for each other. Okay. Some of these questions you'll just answer. Some of them will maybe just be finish the statement. Where did y'all go on your first date?
If she remembers, first official date.
First
The
official date.
Yeah, she'll get technical if I don't
No,
throw that
please
in
bring a
there.
little direction.
Okay, are we talking about when we went to the circus?
We went to the circus.
We went to the circus. Okay,
Circus.
so
I didn't know this.
Ringling Brothers and Barnum Bailey.
there's this-
Can't even hardly say it.
Yeah. There's
We had great seats at the top. You know, only the best for my girl.
Was this your brainchild?
I don't know.
actually,
I think
no,
it was she and her friend.
Okay, yeah. So I always thought, this is going to sound random, but I always thought, that it would be really great if I could have someone take me to the circus, because it would show, that would be the last thing they would want to do.
True.
But it would
That's gotta be
show, it would show how much they care about you.
Mind
They're willing
games
to do
from day
that.
one.
Yeah. So it wasn't like you liked elephants or something. Like, I just got to see the
No,
elephants.
I just thought how sweet if he would be willing to take me to the circus.
I didn't
and
really
he
care.
said yes.
I just was glad to be with her, so
Get that.
we went to.
I've never been to the circus since, by the
No,
way.
Is it one of those
it's
one-hitter
awful.
quitters?
Circuses are awful.
I don't think I even, but it was a great
It was at
company,
the Summit,
for sure.
which became the Compact Center, which is now Lakewood Church. So,
That's so funny. I was wondering if
You guys were
remember that.
instrumental in the birth of Lakewood.
yeah, we brought the anointing into that place.
That was not the answer I was expecting. I was expecting Taco Villa.
No, Taco
Villa was
was
post-marriage.
Okay.
Yeah, that was when we were on the Dave Ramsey budget,
I
and we
see,
had
I
our
see, I
envelopes,
see.
and we only had so much to spend. So usually,
Taco Villa.
Taco Villa is where
Taco
that
Villa,
came in.
combination burrito.
Okay, this is you're going to describe each other's ideal first date. So you're going, Pastor
Don't say
Josh.
circus. Because
Yeah, just want this guy to take me to the circus to show that
Describe
he cares on me.
Describe what Pastor Kara's ideal date would be.
Oh, okay, right now.
This moment.
Yeah,
I don't even know if I can answer that.
That's why I made him go first.
well, I mean, I will say Kara's low maintenance, so I don't ever feel like I have to stretch on this kind of on an answer like this, but we like the same things in many ways. So an ideal date for her would probably be a really nice dinner, maybe a nice steakhouse.
I like that.
We could dress just a little bit nicer. than maybe the average place. And then whether, afterwards, we're not like night owls, so we don't stay up too late. Mm-hmm. So it's probably back home.
Amen, brother. That'll preach.
Netflix and chill,
For
right?
dessert. No Netflix.
Just a chill. Not a lot of
I
chill.
don't think people are saying Netflix and chill anymore.
Yeah.
Kind of creepy.
Oh, okay. That was all I could think.
Don't empower any of our leaders to start using that language. It's not a sound of the house.
Definitely not a sound of the house. That's a solid.
It
That's
was
a solid
just a
date.
nice way to.
It's a
Yeah, I
solid
mean,
date.
it's easy, because it takes 2 hours to get to the other side of Houston at 6:00 on a Friday night.
Exactly.
By that time you're a little bit frustrated and hangry and.
Yeah, just going to dinner in Houston
Traffic,
is
put you
you're
in a bad
home
place.
at 10 o'clock. So,
How much different would PJ's ideal date be than yours?
well, if it was a date day, it's all about golf. Me playing golf with him he loves it, which is really funny to me because he just likes to have fun, you know? So if we could go play golf, I think
Camaraderie.
yeah, he likes it when I'm like, I feel like we're best friends for sure, but to do things like that, he enjoys that. So
it's nice that y'all are kind of aligned in that. Elizabeth and my ideal dates are a little different. Why are you laughing already?
I can only
I haven't even
imagine.
got to it. She would say, like for Elizabeth, when it comes to a restaurant, what she's looking for, high Yelp reviews.
okay, yeah,
Okay, but questionable location.
Oh,
Because what she wants to do is she wants to find the diamond in the rough.
yeah.
And then she
Many
wants you to
times
know
it's
that
the-
she found it. And then
it
she'll,
just stays in the rough.
yeah, it
Oh,
stays in the
gosh.
rough. So it's one of those places.
That's
the
fun.
food's great, but the danger's high.
Yeah, that's a lot of risks there.
A lot of risk. So we're going to have first dessert. Okay.
Okay.
And then this is her ideal date.
Dessert first.
No, we're going to have 2 separate desserts, but post dinner, we're having the first one.
Okay.
And then we're going to a place called Dirt Cheap.
Okay.
It's just imagine if a retail store threw up in a location.
So just
She
things
has
people have
actually told me
returned
about
and-
this
Yes,
place.
for
and
discounted rates. And I'm not complaining because it's her ideal date. I'm actually excited about going.
Yeah.
And then after about an hour to an hour and a half of being there, we get second dessert.
I like that. I
Yeah.
could be down for that.
And we get home, and the kids are still awake, and they run up to her, hug her mom. We've missed you so much.
Kids are still awake. See, that's not.
She likes that.
Yeah, that's not an ideal
See,
date.
for me, my ideal date is they are asleep and have been.
They're in
asleep.
that-
They're in REM
deep-
cycle.
yeah,
yeah. You
deep
can't wake them up. For me, I'm trying to get into a vehicle that's so detailed. I feel like just me being in it's making it dirtier.
Yeah.
And then we're going somewhere nice. Like I can align with the steakhouse thing. It's a
Yeah,
nice
yeah.
thing.
Good steakhouse. It's just, with good reputation. Not a lot of risks there.
No,
No. It's
And
like it's
then-
going to be predictably good.
Predictably good. I like an experience.
Yeah, no doubt. It needs to last a little bit. Let's get the appetizer, the salad.
Stages.
Yeah, don't bring it all out at once.
No.
We're here to hang.
this is the event.
Yes.
The event.
'Cause
Yeah, exactly.
We
That's
don't
true.
do anything after.
I know. Well, there's no dirt cheap involved, so
Yeah,
you're
they don't
missing
have
out
a
on
lot
that
of-
major component.
Elizabeth has actually told me about this
Don't do it.
place, and
do it.
yeah, she said, I should try it out. So I'll have to take you on our next date, babe.
Is there
Thanks,
a
Brian.
spender and is there a spender or saver of the group? Is one of you a spender, the other one a saver?
I'm more the spender. She's more the saver.
Yeah, 100%.
Same in our house.
For me, buying something, it's not like I'm buying like super expensive items. But if I like the shirt, let's get the shirt. Or if I like this gadget, let's get it. She's thinking through every scenario. Like, what's this going to do to the world economy if I buy this?
World
And I'm
economy.
just like,
Oh my gosh.
it's not that big a deal. It's a shirt. You know what I mean? It's like we can afford it. It's in the budget. Get the shirt.
I don't know. Maybe it was the way I was raised.
It's like every
we didn't
expenditure
have
purchase
a
is
whole
like
lot,
overly
and
analyzed.
so
you
I-
like it? I'm like, I'm not wearing it.
he's told me before, babe, you need a friend to come
I'll
when
be
it comes
honest,
to like shopping.
going
because
shopping
I do
with
ask
her
him a
when
lot.
she's shopping,
Yeah.
it's cruel and unusual punishment.
It's not the move.
I cannot win. It doesn't matter how I could say I love it, and she's like, you don't believe me. Yeah, I don't believe you. I don't really like. I don't know if that. And then I was like trying to be objective, like, hey, I don't know about that fit. I don't know. And then
This is
she liked it, And then I said that, and then she gets back in the truck and hadn't bought anything. Guess who's responsible for
That's
that?
100% you. That's on you.
It's on me. I was like, and next time.
At least you're wise enough to use
that
fit,
happened,
the word fit.
I need Elizabeth in the
This
next
happened
podcast
recently.
to
So the last time that this
have a
happened,
partner.
I told her I'm not shopping with you anymore. I'm not doing that to myself. I have too much self-respect and like no
Self-respect.
I'm not going to be treated like that. Like I'm
need
here.
to edit this out
I'm
of the
here.
podcast.
I'm present. I'm not on my phone. I'm like, yeah, I like that. And
Oh
I
gosh,
mean,
whatever.
I might need to get a seamstress after that because I think it was too big. It was kind of like baggy.
Oh
and
yeah,
I-
too big.
That's a good-
That
But
was-
it wasn't supposed to be.
He's smart. This
It
man's
wasn't
smart.
it wasn't supposed to be. So it looked like there was like it was in their pants in the back, And it was
It's a little kind of Kanye
kind of like
fit.
a diaper butt.
Oh, no, you don't want that.
And I was like, yeah, I don't know if that's really your look. I don't think that's the look we're going for here.
No.
But she couldn't see that. But see, because she's just looking at the front.
And
Sure.
that's where you come
Makes
in.
sense.
So I'm being
Show me-
honest. But
yeah, let me know from the
it was
back.
my fault that the pants didn't fit
that's
right.
not the move. We're the same spender and saver. StockX is usually opened on my phone at least once a day. But we're working through that. Now she's spending a little bit.
She's giving
more.
you a budget.
So now I'm having to we've been doing that from day one. I have a budget. Fun money.
Yeah.
Early on, it was like $80 a month. I'm like, you know how much fun on $80? But
No,
it is
you have
what
to
it
be
is.
real creative.
Yeah. Okay. What is each other's favorite food?
Kara's favorite food is Mexican food. We could eat chips and salsa, tacos, fajitas every night. Every night. Hey, what's
align
for
with
dinner? Tacos?
Oh my gosh.
How about Taco Tuesday? I'm down for that. But Taco Wednesday doesn't really sound right. And then
Taco every day?
Yeah, Taco Friday.
Okay, so I
She's
mean,
great
you're
at
not
browning
even
that
saying
meat.
like that is not true. I make fish tacos. I make enchilada. There's a lot of Mexican type dishes I do like, but
This is true.
It's not tacos
This is
every
true.
day.
I mean, I
not
almost said her,
tacos
like I
every
said
day.
her favorite date. And her favorite date, I don't know if it's steakhouses as much as it may be Papacitos.
I do like.
I got a
Mexican
move
food,
for
but
you because I love Mexican food too. I could eat it every night. Have you been to El Tiempo?
Oh, El Tiempo is
Yes.
always
Filet
good.
mignon fajitas.
They're always good.
We did. We
You
had
go to
that
the
with
one
the
on the
boys.
navigation
not too long ago.
location?
That's the one.
Yeah.
That's the one. I like that.
Yeah.
Nymphes was good last time I went there.
Nymphes is solid.
Yeah.
Nymphes is super solid.
So Josh is very predictable. So like he talks about this, taco experience he has every night. But the truth is, every Monday we have to have chicken thighs and sweet potatoes
Meal
or
prep.
rice because he has to meal prep. He measures everything he puts in his mouth. And so I can't just make ground beef all the time and tacos, I'm defending myself, because that would not get him the macros that he needs.
No, it would totally. It totally would.
But I'm just saying that you would rather have
I like variety
chicken.
at dinner.
Yeah.
I like consistency at breakfast and lunch. Because I don't want to think about that. I'm kind of in work mode there.
He has the
So then
same
you're out of work.
breakfast.
Let's do something.
Dinner's a little bit more of a reward.
Maybe
Yeah.
we should have talked about this before.
No, this
know,
is
we
this is
have
what
a
we're giving the
counseling
people
session
currently
here.
what they want right now. Favorite place to vacation? We won't share specifics, so no one tries to go to the same place.
I like going to California, but
Okay.
there's only one part of California I like going to, Orange County. That's been my favorite as of late. But I'm down for a vacation.
Yeah, wherever.
Just
anytime.
about anywhere you can have some. It needs to have a few components. It needs to have good food.
Amen.
I don't want to drive too far to everything while I'm on vacation. Like I'm like, hey, let's get in the car, let's go eat. Where are we going? It's an hour away. Nah, that's not a vacation. Being in a car is not a vacation time. I don't mind driving to the location,
I
but
see what
once
you're
I'm there,
Yeah, no, I got you.
a golf course needs to be somewhat needs to be close by.
Yeah.
And I'm not really a beach guy, but I'll do the beach. Sometimes I like just being by the beach.
Yeah, I'm with you there.
And then maybe some shops
Definitely some
that we
shops.
can kind of kill some time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like going to California too. Again, certain area, and then Florida. We've been to like the 38
30
area.
is great.
It's
Yeah,
Good
it's
family
nice.
spot.
It's a good family
It's
spot.
a great vacation, and
Even
go with some friends.
what is it? Is it Orange Beach in Alabama? That's a good family spot too, especially for people that may be listening and have little ones. It's a good spot to go to.
We
It's
even, when we
reasonable. You can
first
get in
got-
there and out of there without dropping too much money.
When we first got married, well, not necessarily first married, but when we had really young kids, we would go to San Antonio all the time.
yeah.
Because we could price line for like $75 back in the day and get that hill country.
Yeah.
Before the renovation.
Yeah.
Yes, before the renovation and the lazy river and all that. And they
We
would
took our
you could
boys
have the
there
s'mores.
2 summers ago, I think.
Yeah.
And we didn't have to leave, and it
San
was just
Antonio's
so
got some
great.
good food,
So-
especially if
Yeah,
you
it's
like
got some
Tex-Mex.
spots. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just about like theme parks, standing in lines, not a vacation. We've done the Disney thing once.
Yeah.
And
One and done scenario.
I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm good. I mean, I know some people can just go wild with that, like
There's
Yeah,
some
we-
Disney lovers around
let's
here.
go
I was
every
gonna
day.
say, we know some people that.
When they stopped saying hello, men, women, boys, and girls, that kind of iced the deal for me.
Okay.
Now
That's
they're
a
just
different
hello,
podcast.
hello humans,
Yeah.
because they don't want to say gender things. It's just for me. It's like there's men, women, boys, and girls here. Kind of sounds like something that Mickey Mouse should say.
It's a Mickey move. We're doing a road trip. We're going to Tennessee, Elizabeth and I. Never done it. Never been to Tennessee before, but we've heard good
I
things.
heard great things. The area y'all are going is very.
Yeah.
It's pleasing to the eye.
Yeah, aesthetically. I'm with you. I want good food. I want the ability to just chill. I'm not like one of those vacation guys that does like, let's do 14 excursions.
No, not an excursion guy at all.
We did a couple's vacation at one point. Great couple. Good close friends of ours. Them homies were trying to go out and do everything. They're like, let's
I
go
think-
pet the sea lions.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't even like sea lions.
Let's sit here and
I
read a
feel
book
like
and
we're
take a nap.
just so busy all
Exactly.
the time that it's like, yeah, we just need to like decompress in those
I'm
moments.
trying to eat, rest, read some books.
I don't even want to be on my phone. I don't
No.
want to, nothing.
I'll
One
do a
time we
Netflix
went on an
binge.
excursion.
Yeah, no, that's cool. Especially in the hotel. Now that you can do the Netflix in bed, you can just I can just pick up where I left off, but watch all of them tonight.
Yeah, it's guilt free.
Yeah,
Drag up to the all inclusive breakfast the next morning.
Yeah, and just
We went
Throw
on
down.
a excursion one time, and we looked at each other. We were like, we're been on this bus for 3
people you don't
hours.
even know.
And don't
so
even
bad.
like.
It was so
Ridiculous people.
bad.
I mean, at first you're
That
not
was
sure
our
what you
last
think about them,
excursion.
but then you're like, man,
My instincts are right. I don't like them.
yeah, this doesn't feel right.
Yeah. All right. Last question. You're gonna give a 1-word response to what I'm about to say.
We were not prepped on these
I
questions.
know.
I like it.
Grandchildren.
I know what he's gonna say. First of all, this is very much in
Is
our future.
ASAP a word?
Yes.
Tomorrow. No, it can't be that
He
soon.
totally.
Marriage probably needs to happen first. No, it definitely needs to happen.
Let it be
100%.
known that this is nowhere in the near future.
I would totally be like the coolest grandpa.
I gotta know
We
something.
are gonna be great
Yeah, y'all are.
grandparents.
Or would y'all go with traditional grandparent names, or would y'all do that new age stuff like Stud and Sweetness? These ridiculous names.
No, I've actually.
Would probably err more towards the more traditional
Yeah,
side. But
yeah, I was
but
gonna say
not
I've thought
like-
about
Not
this.
grandpa.
Yeah, but
Grandpa, not many grandpas are jacked.
Yeah.
So that doesn't feel like it fits. But maybe like a pop.
I haven't thought about it a ton. But it's kind of whatever
They say, right?
little dude,
Don't
little
they
gal,
kinda-
whatever they come up with. I mean, to some degree. I mean, but I haven't given it a ton of thought.
Yeah, we'll have to.
I haven't given much of it any thought, but the idea just sounds cool.
I know
That's-
I do miss that season of them being
I'll be-
little, so I just
yes.
need to babysit or something because
babysit.
I'm not ready to be a grandma
Well,
yet.
if y'all need to borrow Jackson and Judah for the
Yeah,
weekend.
it's just it has to be within the DNA pool for me to want to do that.
Yeah, no, I get
he's
that.
not trying to.
Yeah,
There's
I love
very
your
few other
kids,
people's
but,
kids
you
that I
know,
actually
it's
like.
Yeah, they're your kids. You know,
Yeah, yeah.
I don't love your kids. Like,
Maybe I like them.
yeah, I mean they're cool, but at my house without you there, man, that's just like
That-
a whole different.
So we
like,
actually, for the record, have been having visitors at our house because Josh told these 2 little boys that are
in our
absolutely
church,
adorable.
obviously, and they're not just random visitors.
And
they're my
they're-
dudes. They're down the road.
They're our neighbors, and they come to our church, and we saw them in the lobby,
You know
and
who I'm
Josh
talking
was
about. How old are
like,
those boys?
1's 6, 1's 4.
Okay, we're talking about a 6-year-old and a 4-year-old.
okay, they're adorable. And Josh told them in the lobby, hey, you need to come by the house.
Because they
and
live down
sing-
the street.
And I'll get you, give you some candy. And so they have already come by twice.
Okay.
And the first time, I gave them a Kit Kat bar, and I really thought it was a full size, and I thought they were going to like take it
Piece
and
it out.
go home,
Yeah.
you know, let their parents know and all that. They rip it open and start
That
eating
sounds like
it.
them.
And they had chocolate all over their face.
They didn't even break them apart. They just go in with them still connected. I respected that move.
And
That's a power move.
Yeah, I know
I-
for sure.
I like real quickly like went and got a paper towel and cleaned them off and sent them home.
I was in
and
my
I don't know that
gym
they
working
even,
out, and they were climbing on all my workout equipment. I thought it was great. You know,
So
it didn't last very
cute.
long. I could see their dad. He was sitting down on the curb in front of their house on his phone.
Just keep a watchful
I guess
eye.
he kind of knew they were in our direction.
yeah.
But
So
the funny thing is
I
that
was asking him questions. You
Yeah.
know, just
Josh really is so great with them.
I do
so
like
cute.
kids, even like kids at the
But-
church
so
lobby.
he
and
came
stuff.
back the other day, and Josh actually had already like went in the house and wasn't outside anymore. And he rolled up, and I said, "Are you here for some more candy?" And he said, "Yeah, but let's not go with chocolate this time or something."
Selective.
So I
So
just
she-
recently,
Yeah, she restocked.
I did. I just did a curbside order
We're loaded
and
up, boys.
added some candy, but not chocolate this time.
Not
so,
chocolate.
Yeah.
Anyways, I think we're getting prepared for the grandparent thing one day.
You know,
I mean,
when
it's
you're a
gonna be-
pastor, and sometimes people don't want to put you out. You know, they want to. It's like, I mean, I am a regular person, and
No,
it's-
surely
yeah,
not.
but some people just like, it's.
They get weird about it.
Yeah, or they don't want their kids to bug me. They're not bugging me. I mean, it's like, it's kind of
So
nice to be a
cute.
normal neighbor. Hey, I'm a nice, it's good to have a nice neighbor. You know, it's kind of, in today's world,
Becoming more
you
and
can't
more
let your
rare.
kids just kind of roam around.
Right.
When I was a kid, we just roamed around. Just be knocking on people's doors. Hey, you got something to drink? It's like, I mean, I want to be that neighbor. I
Yeah.
don't care if they're coming for the candy. They're entertaining.
Yeah.
They're funny.
It's cool.
Yeah.
We're going to shift gears a little bit. We got a lot of listeners right now who fall in all kinds of different categories. We've got people who are married, people who are married with kids. We've got people who may not be married with kids, grandparents, empty nesters, all in these different kind of layers of relationships. And no matter where you are, balancing relationships at home, in your personal life, and even relationships as a leader with the pace of life, it can feel like a lot at times. I know even for me right now, being the dad of now a first grader and a third grader, just kind of processing how do I make all this happen in a healthy way? Because we've got school, which ends today, so now we got them home. But we got soccer practices. We've got them wanting now to go over to friends' houses and friends coming over to our house. We've got then the demands of just life and ministry and leadership. It can feel at times like a challenge. How do I kind of keep all of this together? What's a healthy way to do it? Like I mentioned earlier, I've had the privilege of being around you guys for many years and seeing how you lead your family through the different seasons and stages. I had told Pastor Kara before we started shooting that I got to hang out a little bit more with Caleb and Tyler over the last couple of days, and hanging out at Top Golf and everything. And I just had such a good time just chilling with them. Mm-hmm. And I think I told Elizabeth this maybe last night because we were talking about the podcast, and I looked over at her. I said, wasn't it fun hanging out with Caleb and Ty? She's like, yeah. And I said, man, if our boys are half that cool when they get to that age,
Yeah.
I feel like we did something right.
Yeah.
And
thank you. That's
yeah.
nice.
And so while I know you would probably say, hey, it wasn't perfect, I think you got a lot of things right. And so what I want to do in the time that we have left together is really do two things. For one, I want to kind of give our listeners some insight into almost your background, so to speak, marriage, young kids, different stages, even how you work that in with ministry. And then once we do that, kind of talk about some of maybe even the guiding perspectives that you had through those seasons. Because obviously cultures are even a little bit different now. And people's situations may be different. I know there are even listeners right now, they're saying, well, they're pastors, of course, but you guys were pastors, but you're leaders, you're professionals, parents, constant demands, just like many of us feel now. Maybe we'll unpack some of the perspectives that you had in those different seasons. But for now, why don't you guys give us a little bit of a backstory on your family life? How long have y'all been married?
Don't look at me.
22 years.
We got married in the year 2000.
22 years. Okay.
Yep.
Makes
That
it
was
easy for him
strategic.
to remember.
It'll be 23 in September.
Yeah.
23 in September.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
How old were you when you got married?
I was 21, and Kara was.
I was 2 weeks away from turning 19.
Okay.
I was very young. It was a different day,
Sure.
and my mom said I was very mature for my age.
Agreed.
I've actually got strong opinions on that. I feel like I don't think people should apologize for getting married young. I think the best marriages in our world, the ones that we look to, people who been married 60, 70 years, that's because they got married when they were young, before they learned all the bad habits, before they had all the baggage, before they had all the regret. They found somebody and they loved them. Obviously, the best marriages typically have a God story
Yep.
involved, and I just think we make marriage into something where you have to be so mature and so ready. The only thing you have to be ready to do is to commit for life.
That's good, man.
And if you're willing to commit for life, then you can grow through that. You take divorce off the table. And so anyway, we got married young. I have absolutely no regrets
just
about
gonna
it. I
say,
don't
no
necessarily
regrets, for
encourage
sure.
everybody to do that. But I think the way we were raised, both of our parents are still married to this day, to our mom and dad. I mean,
Yeah.
they're still together after all these years. So we had a great picture
yeah.
and examples of what marriage looks like.
It's great.
Even back into our grandparents, you know, that was something that that we could look to, and it was just kind of this is who we are as people. You know, we get married to one person.
Yeah.
And that's not throwing shade at anybody that's been through the pain of a divorce, but we've been able to avoid that pain.
Yeah.
And we're grateful for that.
Right.
You know, it's a grace of God, obviously.
Yeah, I know you got married, and then it was shortly thereafter that you made a big move.
Yeah, within 4 weeks, actually 3 weeks, we moved almost about 500 miles away from here.
Yeah, we moved. It's right outside of Lubbock. It's called Levelland.
So we moved to West Texas, and
We were youth pastors.
yeah, 5 years. Caleb was born there. in
How
Lubbock.
long were y'all married before Caleb?
So we had a 5-year plan, but
God had another plan.
But God.
so about 2.5 years in, we ended
Yeah.
up getting pregnant, and
You got pregnant. I didn't get pregnant.
Well, they say
You played a part.
Yeah, I don't
that-
play that. I don't play just because of what people say now. It's like I didn't get pregnant. You got pregnant. I had a part to play in that.
Yes, for
At least I think.
Caleb looks just like you. Okay, so we got married 2.5 years later, had Caleb, and then he was 18 months old when we ended up moving to Victoria. And, you know, when you're that far away from home, and
Sure.
it took 12 hours for us to even get home, we did miss being around family. And so we found a place that was just 2.5 hours from family. So far enough where they had to call
There we
first
go.
before they could
This is
come.
key.
Because we had kind of gotten used to that,
Yeah.
doing it, just being us.
Yeah.
Which actually was, I think all married couples should
I was gonna say,
go
there's
move
probably a
away
lot of value
because there
in
was
that.
no, I'm mad at you, I'm driving home at night, you know.
And
because
nobody's
it's
meddling
12
in
hours
our
away.
in our business, you know.
Yeah, we had to
not
figure it
say
out for sure.
Our parents would have done that, but some parents, some couples, they experience a little bit of that, you know, outside pressure that's unnecessary. There's
Yeah.
enough pressure inside two people trying to cook, you know.
Well, I think
Make
it
it together.
almost like I know with Elizabeth and I, we had a lot of change happen early on. In the period of 1 year, we got married. I switched careers. She switched careers. We moved. Then we moved again to Baytown, and we had a little boy all in the first year. And it was cool because in some ways it forced us, in a lot of ways it forced us really to cling on to each other.
Yeah.
Because there felt like there was so much change and God was behind it all, but you know, you're still dealing with just the personal feelings of it, and it really brought us together. And there are those seasons where you look back and think you guys would say the same thing, where it's like, man, if we can get through that together, we can get through anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Leave and cleave.
Yeah, and it just kind of forges that. And so you guys, you moved to Victoria, you have Tyler.
Yes.
18 months later after Caleb. So now you're
Well, no, Caleb was 18 months
got
when
it.
we moved, and then it was like,
It was within a year.
I was going to say it was within the year we found out we were having Tyler. So
Yeah, because they're about
they're
2.5 years apart.
2 years and 9 months.
Yeah.
2 years and 9 months.
Yeah.
What was
so-
that like as a young family? You've moved again. You're in a new place. You've got, I'm sure even, because knowing where you came out of in Victoria, because I grew up in that church, knowing probably the increased weight of ministry.
Yeah.
New place, new relationships, young family.
Mm-hmm.
What were you feeling in that moment?
Well, I'm pretty honest about this when asked. I wasn't excited to hear we were having a baby either time.
Okay. I know you don't mean for it to be funny, but it just is.
Well, yeah.
I feel bad about it now, but I'm a planner, which is a nice way of saying I can be a control freak about my life. And I think for me, it was just some fear on a lot of fronts, maybe financially the most, because, I knew it was going to be a stretch. Kara wasn't working at the church at that time, and it was primarily a single income home. I wasn't making much as a youth pastor in that setting. One reason why I believe in, compensating our team maybe even better than what we were compensated at the time. But, God was faithful. And, after a day or so of that, of course I was thrilled.
Sure.
But at first I was just like, how did this happen? And I was like, oh yeah,
That's how it happened.
I remember how it happened. Yeah. So it's, there was definitely some anxiety there.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I was gonna say when he said, "How did this happen?" That was with Caleb. I was laying on the bed crying, and he was, "How did this happen? How did this happen?" And we were like, "Oh!" But of course, we're so glad that it happened.
Sure.
We absolutely love our boys, and it was
yeah.
great them being young, because now we've got one that just finished his freshman year of college, and Tyler's going to be a junior this next year, and so I feel like we're young parents.
Yeah,
Well,
you're,
I felt like I just got a raise, with Caleb getting out of diapers.
there we go.
And then you're like, here's
Joke's
another
on
diaper
you.
tax. Are
Joke's
we
on
ever
you.
going to get away from diapers?
Yeah. But it's better, I think, to stay in them and then be able
I
to
can see
get out
that.
than to
Yeah.
not have diapers and then have that raise in a sense and then get in diapers again. So we just kind of back them.
Yeah,
Back 'em
ours
right
are
up.
18 months apart, Jackson and Judah. Jackson was unplanned. Totally unplanned.
Yeah, that was pretty quick.
Very quick. We had a plan. We had a 3-year plan. It wasn't 5 years, but then we found out we were pregnant 3 months in. So that was cool.
Crazy.
I wish we would have had more.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, 1 or 2 more would have been great.
Really?
Yeah, but it's
I wasn't.
There was
able
some
to
medical
have-
reasons
yeah,
for it,
I
you
wasn't
know.
able to have more, but plus when they're little, it is exhausting, and it's busier when it comes to just how much they take from you, and so anyways, now the attention side of it, but. Now, of course, I do wish we would have had more, but
Speaking
we'll have
to that-
grandkids.
That's right.
one
You
day,
have
right?
grandkids.
Yeah.
Stud and sweetness over here.
stud and sweetness.
Speaking to that, you guys both leading the church, young kids. Eventually, you joined the staff, and so now you're both doing ministry while together, separate roles, separate responsibility, outside of the home, being parents. Pastor Kara, maybe you even speak to this a little bit. How did you navigate some of that as a mom? Because I think for us as men, it's a little bit easier to disconnect and not, I don't want to use the term feel guilty about some of that at times. But
No, we can compartmentalize it a lot easier.
yeah.
Yeah, I think one of the things Josh and I did a lot is just reminded the boys that it's not just mom and dad in ministry, but we all are. And so even before we were lead pastors, we've always said that, and made it where it was something that was exciting and something that we got to be a part of as a family. And so, we, at that time, there was 2 services at the church we were serving in, and we had convinced our boys that they were actually so special and privileged that they got to actually stay for 2 services. And so I think that
she was pretty good at being creative and selling that.
well, I've watched parents, other moms to be specific, and they feel that mom guilt and they project it on their kids, not even realizing it. And, you hear them on the bent down telling their kids, hey, I'm so sorry that, it's just one more service and, I'm sorry you have to be here longer, or almost apologizing for the different things they did. And my kids just never knew any different. Yep. And they were raised in that. And so I knew different. I knew they didn't technically have to be there, but instead of apologizing about it, it was like, hey, you're actually really special because you get to be part of this.
And I think early on, I mean, obviously we are in ministry as pastors at this point, but I don't know if it would, like, some of that would have changed. They probably would have been 2 service kids anyways, because I think it comes down to parents being able to define and their own identity.
Love that.
Like, who are we? Who am I? Who is, mom's asking, who am I? Who's God called me to be? Who are we together? This is who we are. We're not entering your world, child number one. Child number one, you are entering into our world.
Yeah.
You are getting caught up in this family that God is building. And we were able to know who we were as individuals, know who we were as a family. We didn't really live for the approval of other people.
Well, I would say you did that really well when it came to the boys came into our world, because we did watch some of our friends and it was all of a sudden everything revolved around their kids, their nap time and their,
that was
whatever.
the point I'm getting to next, is that there has to be a sense of separateness. There has to be a sense of separateness between a parent and their child. I can't allow my child's feelings to be my feelings. I can't allow my child's not that I don't care about my child's feelings, but they can't control my feelings because of something they don't want to do or they're angry about. I mean, obviously, I want to strengthen my child. I want to minister to my own child first and foremost. My family comes first.
Right.
But as Joshua, the book of Joshua, it says, as for me and my house, we're going to serve the Lord. So I just made that decision early on.
Yeah.
That this family is going to serve God. And serving God is just having this idea, I love God. No, we love the Lord with all of your heart, soul, mind, and strength. Like Jesus said, and love your neighbor as you love yourself. So I wanted to be a part of the church, and I wanted them to be a part, not viewing church as the thing that mom and dad do. Yeah. And then we're the outside kids, we're the outsiders that get the leftover attention. No, Kara was great about, hey, we're all in, like she said earlier, this is who we are, is what we do together. Yeah.
And so, they would serve even at a young age.
We helped them find their own identity.
Yeah, so they would help with the game segment in the kids ministry.
I remember celebrating them. They'd tell us, hey, how did it go today? Did you serve? Yeah, I did this. And how did it go?
I was a greeter.
I'm sure you did a great job, man. Thank you for what you're doing. I was just, trying to
we would even tell them things like, hey, if there's somebody that's there for the first time, you go sit by them and you can be the person that helps them get to know other kids. So even if it wasn't an actual serve thing, we were trying to help them by seeing, people that they could help and serve with. And so that was always
even in the Old Testament, in the tabernacle, I mean, the Levites and the different, there were actually families that were given responsibility. There were families that would set up this part of the tabernacle, this part, it was a family thing. Yeah. And I think men in general need to lead their families in the things of God, not just by being an example, but by bringing direction and vision for where God's taking the family. So
I think another thing that we would do as well is talk about when people were being helped, or if there was, as they were a kid, they would be upset about maybe something that happened at school. Somebody did something, and, we were able to talk about, hey, you know what, that's why we have church, is because, we want to teach people how to be more kind. And, you just always trying to talk about, man, there was this person that this happened to them and they ended up getting saved. And I bet, God's going to do some cool things in their life, and just really trying to talk about some of the life change that happened because of us serving and
Yeah.
the kids serving.